A lot of you don't know how to observe. You know how to present yourself, you know how you want to be observed, but you don't know how to observe other people. And I'm here to teach you. The most important thing in life is to figure situations and figure people out. This will already get you 2 steps ahead of everyone. If you can figure out the person you want to hire you, if you can figure out your boss, if you can figure out the way a teacher thinks, if you can figure out the way your date thinks, you know exactly how to behave. You know exactly what you can say and what you can do to get what you want. And I'm not telling you to manipulate people, but I'm telling you how to see through the mask that people wear. And everyone wears a mask, okay? You can say, no, I'm 100% authentic. This is not true because you are a different person in public than you are at home to yourself. It's normal. When we humans are in society, we wear masks to protect ourselves and to give these people the image we want them to have of us. But as I said, you need to look through these masks. Observation is an art. And you may think observation is just looking at the person and not doing anything and just sitting there and staring at them. This is not observation. This is you staring at a random person and making them feel uncomfortable probably. Observation is the art of noting down little things that most people don't even see. The way someone flinches, the way someone acts when certain topics arise, the way someone moves, the way someone uses their body language, the way someone speaks, the way someone looks at you. These are all small little things that get lost. To most people, they get lost because they care most about themselves. They just look, oh my God, what can I do right now to appear as confident? And then they forget to observe the surroundings. But if you grew up like me and had to become hypervigilant at a very young age, then you learn naturally, you don't even have to learn these things in books. Then you learn naturally how to scan the energy of your surroundings in order to keep you safe. When you observe, you just observe, because most people, what they do is they want to watch people, they want to, analyze people, and the mistake they make is that they observe and analyze at the same time. These 2 things are different processes, okay? First, you observe, you just note down. Noting down is everything you need in that moment. When I was younger, and I agree that this might come across as toxic or as psycho, but I don't care because I did these things to protect myself. Because when I was younger, I would create files of every person I used to talk to. Whenever they told me something, whenever I observed something, I noted it down in that file immediately. And these people would always say, oh my God, you remember everything about me. I love that. No one ever does this. So at the end, it even made me a better friend because I knew, okay, you are allergic to bananas. You don't like this. You drink your coffee like this. You drink your tea like this. Your parents are this and blah, 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 blah. I knew everything because I wanted to remember everything about the person. And this came out of being traumatized, because if you are traumatized, what you first learn is that you can't trust anyone. And at that point, I didn't trust anyone. And I knew that every person I could come across could at some point turn against me. And in order to be prepared for this moment that eventually will never, happen, I just noted down everything I knew about them. You can say this is toxic, you can say you are a psycho, but it kept me safe. And what I want you to do is, when you want to learn how to analyze people, is I want you to note down everything about the person. And this is also very important, that when you are a beginner, let's say you never did any of these things, then I want you to note things down of a person that you are not emotionally attached to. Like, don't just note things of your sister, of your best friend, of your mom now, because your emotions can always tint and change the way you perceive someone. For example, if I would just analyze my sister, and I'm new to this, of course, I would always subconsciously try to see her in a better way. So if you are new to these things, I don't know, you can pick a random person, maybe the bus driver that you see every day, maybe a teacher that you don't talk to very often, maybe a person in your class you're not friends with, but pick a person that you can perceive objectively, without any judgments or without any picture of them in your head that will always overtune what you really see in that moment and what you really observe. you tend to idealize the people closest to you, even if it's your friends, you know? When your friend tells you a story about how they have a fight with someone, you naturally stick to your friend's side. Even if you deep down now, okay, maybe my friend was that problem in that moment, but you stick to them because you want to see them as a good person and you want to be on the right side. Just know that the more you are emotionally connected to someone, the more these emotions will blur your perceivement of that person. It will not be your true observation anymore because your observation will be tinted by these emotions. A person who's truly good at observing people would never make them feel observed. And this is the art of observing. These people don't know that you observe them. The second they feel that you observe them, they will subconsciously try to behave in a different way because they know I am being observed. So if you want to be a good observer, you don't let people know that you observe them. You don't let people know, oh, I'm watching you. I'm trying to figure you out. I'm so good at analyzing you. You don't do this. Play dumb. Most people can't accept in their ego to be perceived as dumb. And I said this to a friend because, you know, I dyed my hair and I want to go even lighter, even blonder. And I was like, you know what? If people perceive me as less intelligent because of a hair color, this is the best thing that can happen to me. Because if people don't perceive you in a way that you truly are, this is always your advantage. Always. Because they can figure you out. They thought that they figured you out, but that's not the real you. This is your advantage. You are steps ahead of them. They don't know what's coming. They don't know what you're up to do. Let them believe that you're dumb. Let them believe that you know nothing. Let them believe, oh, I'm so innocent. I don't know anything. Oh, this is what I always do. Most people, when they get new to a place, the first thing they want to do is to assert dominance, either in a way to let people know this is what I can do and this is what I am and I'm this and that. Don't do this. Let people figure you out and let them make mistakes by figuring you out. When I came new to a school, there were a lot of people, we all were new there, you know. And in the first 2 to 3 weeks, I would speak to no one. Like I just said hello and bye and stuff like this, you know. And they would already go around and party together and meet together. And I remember after 3 weeks, they came to me, like a couple of people, and they asked me, why don't you want to hang out with us? Why don't you talk to us? Why don't you want to be friends with us? And I thought to myself, because I don't even know you at all. I'm still trying to figure you out. And there was this one guy who was also very interested in psychology as me, and he kind of realized what was going on. He realized that I wanted to observe them, to be able to somehow know who they are before I get involved with them. And what he did, it was so funny. He texted me a big text and he tried to analyze me. And he was like, you are this and this because your parents were like that and that. And this is why you want to prove everyone that you're so intelligent. And this is why you are so introverted. And I was like, interesting. Very interesting observation you have about me. And this is what I said. I didn't say, oh my God, no, this is not true. Oh my God, this is true. I didn't say anything. And this is what will always freak people out when they know that whatever they throw at you, you are not going to emotionally react. Because every emotional reaction says something about you, reveals something about you. So you want to keep these emotional reactions to yourself because people can read you according to your emotional reactions. The next thing you can do, okay, and don't comment things like this is not scientifically proved, because even the CIA, the FBI, like polices all over the world use this. And this is graphology, the analysis of handwriting. I have this book, and this is the best book out there. I have several books on handwriting analysis. This is the best. I got it on Amazon, like, I don't know, 4 years ago. It's called Handwriting Analysis, Putting It to Work for You by Andrea McNichol, I think. So she will teach you everything. And she has everything written down, like really from the size of someone's handwriting to where they write to the way their handwriting is tinted. In this book, she even states and shows you that certain criminals always tend to have the same kind of handwriting. Your handwriting, like everything you do with your body, reveals so much about you, and especially your handwriting. It reveals how emotional you are, how introverted you are, where you see yourself, how confident you are. She even goes in this book and tells you about what a signature can say about a person. And I had this book about secret services and stuff. And in that book, they had this section where they explained and showed how when they wanted to recruit someone, they would analyze this person's handwriting. And they would write analysis, like really big analysis. And in that analysis, there would be things like, this person will not be reliable. This person is easily to get emotional. This person can have anger issues. They would sometimes not recruit someone because their handwriting said so much about them that they do not want it in their team. And whenever I analyzed the handwriting of a person, either if it was a person from my personal life or a famous person, it always fits 100%. You can even analyze your own handwriting to convince you about the fact that it really fits, but trust me, it does. What's also underrated is astrology. A lot of people don't even really know what astrology is. They just see horoscopes and they think this is astrology. No, astrology is a full birth chart. And each planet stands for a different thing. For example, your moon signs represents your emotions and how you process your emotions. The Mercury sign represents how you communicate and how you want to be communicated with. The Venus sign represents how you love and how you want to be loved. And there's this app that's so great for this. It's called Astra, and on Astra you can analyze your own birth chart, or you can even ask questions about the placements of other people. You can also analyze the birth chart of your friends. And one thing I love to do is to ask information about other people, and then it can help you to analyze them. For example, when I want to learn more about someone, I go to Astra, press ask me anything, and then ask it. It helps you to analyze these people. It helps you to understand how their mind works. It helps you to understand what their motivation is, how they perceive love, how they see themselves, how they want to be seen by the world, their motivation, their drive. It can teach you so much about the person. One thing that's also very interesting is Astrocartography. And on the Astra app, you can ask where in the world your energies will be most aligned to your advantage. For example, I looked up my Pluto line, and Pluto is the planet that represents transformations and also trauma and pain. And it's so crazy because my Pluto line is exactly in the city where I got traumatized the most. And when I get to know someone, what I always do, I look if they are compatible with my signs. For example, I am a Taurus moon. As I said, moon signs represent your emotional side, how you want to get comforted, how you process your emotions. And as a Taurus moon, I am very down to earth. I am very well grounded in the material world, and therefore I need a lot of stability. So I know, for example, that I get along very well with people who either have an earth moon or a water moon. An earth moon because they naturally understand how my mind works, and a water moon because they balance me out. Because water moons tend to be very emotional and very intuitive, and this is the side that lacks in me, like this emotional side. As an earth sign, I always try to rationalize my emotions instead of feeling them. And when you go to Astra and press ask anything, you can ask anything. So if you have the birth chart of a person and you see, okay, their Venus is in Sagittarius and your Venus is in Taurus, you can ask, is Taurus Venus compatible with Sagittarius Venus? You can ask anything, and you can get a glimpse of how you both get along. And it's so crazy because, as I said, people underestimate this so many times, but even when I talk to the people who don't believe in astrology, and I analyze their birth chart, they are always shocked about how accurate it is. And I never use the word belief because it's not a religion. It's a science. It's an over 2,000 years old science because it relies on patterns and pattern recognition. It's not telling you, oh my God, this happens because I feel that it happens. It's telling you this is most likely to happen because the energies of the planets influence you in that specific time, in that specific way. And if you start to open up for all of these sources of information and see how they can benefit you, even if you want to analyze someone, you will get to know so much about someone, it's insane. We become a sum of the 5 people we spend most time with, and the people who are very close to us influence us the most. So if you get to know someone and they tell you, oh my God, all of my friends cheat on their girlfriends or on their boyfriends, what do you expect of that person? Because for me, if I get to know someone and I feel, okay, their morals are not in alignment with my morals, there's no way on earth that I will stay friends with them. This is not going to happen. I had a friend and she lived at home and she was like me, you know, same morals. And all of a sudden, she would move to a different city and her parents wouldn't control her anymore. So she started to become a whole different person. And I realized this was her all along, but now she has the freedom to express this side of her. And she would really play with people's feelings, play with people's hearts. And I was like, I don't want to be your friend if this is what you do. I don't want to be your friend if you go around and hurt people and think that this is a good thing to do. So I ended this friendship. Because if the friends of someone show you that they are liars, they are cheaters, they are betrayers, what do you think that person is? Do you think a person who's very honest, very loyal, and a very good person would ever allow these liars, cheaters, and manipulators to be in their surrounding? No, because they know they will most likely just drain them, most likely just steal their energy. So no really healthy person would ever willingly be friends with someone who is a bad person. When I was new to TikTok, I always used to make videos about body language and how to read body language. But there are a lot of videos on YouTube as well. And I have books about body language. The best books of body language are from Joe Navarro. He is a former FBI agent. So he is kind of specialized on these body language things. And he will teach you, and many other creators of videos here will teach you how to correctly analyze the body language of someone. What you need to realize is that you can choose what you say, but you can't choose what you do with your body. Your body will always subconsciously give away information, give away how you truly feel, give away what you try to hide. So some people would even go as far as when they interviewed people to work for them, that they would record their feet while they were interviewing them. Of course, these people didn't know this, but this is how they could see how nervous this person is, how stress resistant this person is, and how this person reacts emotionally to certain questions, because we can't hide things with our body. For example, if someone always says, I'm so confident and blah, 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 but he's always staying in a way that's revealing to you that he's not confident, like shoulders down, not standing up straight, and always defensive, always trying to protect themselves, then you know that what they are saying is not in alignment with their body language. For example, if someone is touching these areas a lot, like their neck, their ears, their nose, their wrists, this shows, like this signals that this person is stressed, because these are self-soothing gestures that we subconsciously do in order to regulate our emotions. The connections that we form in the first 7 years of our lives become the pattern of what we seek in the future subconsciously. This is why a lot of people who had a very traumatic childhood subconsciously attract a partner later on that represents the same toxic traits as their toxic father or mother. Because our brain is always looking out for patterns. There's this quote and it says that your brain is always choosing a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven. And this means that your brain is always choosing the way that it already knows, the pattern that you feel safe in. Because unpredictability, something new, something that you have never experienced, is the same as a danger for your brain. If you had a difficult childhood, you need to rewrite and reprogram your subconscious beliefs and your entire brain. This is what I did, because I always used to attract people that would literally represent my mother or my father, the toxic traits of them. And once I realized this, I was like, oh my God, I'm the one who's attracting these people. Because a healthy person, even if they would attract a narcissist at one point, they would never allow them to treat him like this. They would say, oh, this is who you are, I'm leaving. But if you are staying with these people, then it's most likely that you have already experienced something similar like this in your childhood, and therefore it appears normal to you. Like you think this is how it's supposed to be. I only knew love in this form. So if you want to get to know someone, get to know a lot about their childhood, because they will keep subconsciously attracting things that are in the same pattern of their childhood. Always observe what someone is trying to hide. A lot of people want to hide an insecurity by trying to portray the other extreme. For example, if someone is deeply insecure, they may always say things like, I am perfect, I'm so hot, I love myself. And I'm not saying that every person who says these things is deeply insecure, but the important thing is to realize, how do they say this? How often do they say this? And who are they trying to convince? Because I say these things to myself. When I'm waking up and I look into the mirror, I say affirmations to myself. But do I need to record myself while saying these things and putting it online all the time? Like, who am I trying to convince about how confident I am? Me or you? So if someone is always trying to appear in a very certain way, and it's almost like to the point where you're like, girl, we get it. Like, we get it. You think you're hot, we get it. Then it's most likely that they do this to compensate the other extreme. Ask them about people that they don't like. The truth is, and I'm sorry for being the one that has to break it to you, but the truth is that we often can't stand people who have a lot of similarities to ourselves, because they remind us subconsciously of the flaws in ourselves. So for example, if I'm a person whose ego is very high and I see someone else who has a high ego as me, I will feel triggered by them, because subconsciously I can't accept the fact that I have a high ego, I have a big ego, and this is where I judge them for their ego. How can they be like this? This is so annoying. In fact, what I deeply think is that I am myself annoying for having this big ego. So when someone is overly judging something, overly judging someone all the time, just know that it's most likely that there's a part of this person that lives inside of them as well. And this is what they are really judging. This was my video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see each other in my next video.